Hello, everyone. Welcome, friends, for today's evening of Affirmation for Self Healing. It's with great joy to share on the topic of joy. So, I'm with Brahmachari Vineet, and we are very delighted and thrilled to share on this topic. So, I'm going to first do a reading. Let's all do affirmation together, and then Brahmachari Vineet will share on the same topic. So, I'm going to start reading about joy. True joy is not an emotional state. It is not that which one feels when some desire is satisfied or when everything at last goes well. It is inward. It is of the soul. It can be developed first by not reacting emotionally to outward things. Don't be tossed on alternating waves of success and joy. Don't join in their excitement, the buyers and sellers in the marketplace of this world. Be calm in yourself, even minded and cheerful through the gains and losses of life. Then, in calm, deep meditation, feel the joy of the soul. Hold on to that joy through all the activities. Don't confine it, but try to ever expand it until your little joy becomes the joy of God. Let's affirm together, first in a loud voice. Please repeat with me. I'm even minded and cheerful at all times. I know that joy is not outside me, but within. Now, in a medium voice, normal voice, I'm even minded and cheerful at all times. I know that joy is not outside me, but within. Now, in a whisper, please repeat. I'm even minded and cheerful at all times. I know that joy is not outside me, but within. Now, silently taking it deep into your subconsciousness, please repeat. I'm even minded and cheerful at all times. I know that joy is not outside me, but within. This time, offering it at the spiritual eye. Please repeat again mentally. I'm even minded and cheerful at all times. I know that joy is not outside me, but within. Let's pray together. Please repeat mentally with me. In the calmness of meditation, at the heart of my inner peace, Lord, help me to feel thy thrilling, joyful presence. Om Shanti Shanti. Now I would request Brahmachari Vineet to share now.
Thank you, Premdas, and welcome everyone to today's Affirmations for Self-Healing webinar, which is basically based on this book by Swami Kriyananda ji. And today's topic, which, like Premdas said, was on joy, and that was a very, very beautiful reading which we had. I was reminded of this story somehow, which Swami Kriyananda ji shared when he was uh, visiting India, and he was traveling through India, and he met a sadhu. I think this was in Puri, and when he met this sadhu, he said to Swami Kriyananda ji that one should not enjoy anything. And Swami Kriyananda ji asked him, "Well, not even a beautiful sunset?" He said, "No, nothing." And that was so interesting and fascinating because now that sadhu was about 130 or 32 years old, so he did have some powers, but the approach which we have on the spiritual path, especially the one which Yogananda ji had, was that one of joy where you're embracing life. And even if you enjoy a beautiful sunset, like Swamiji says in the reading, be not be he says basically by not reacting emotionally to outward things, and he says don't be tossed on alternating waves of success and failure. So, if there is a beautiful sunset or if there is a success in life, it's not like we don't, enjoy it anything at all, but we enjoy it, but rather seeing that God is the one enjoying it through me. And if I like something, if I like chocolates, I'll eat chocolates, and I don't have to deny that I don't like chocolates, but I will do it with the joy of God. Now, I know this can go very extreme sometimes, and people can take it to extreme that I'll do whatever I want to do, I'll fulfill all my likes and dislikes, and I will do thinking that it's with God, but rarely there is a thought of God. But if we were to really sincerely approach this from the perspective of that I'm doing this in God's joy and God's bliss, the whole picture changes. And if you've ever studied about karma yoga and what is karma yoga, it's not always about what we do, but rather how we do it. A person might be sitting down to meditate but might be having his thoughts all over the place, and versus someone who might be busy in his day-to-day activities in his job but constantly having that thought of God and the joy of God in his mind. That makes a whole difference. So it's not really about outward activities that we know that we are on the right path, but rather how is our feeling inwardly. Many times on the spiritual path I have found myself that I have just to look spiritual, or just to, and not even to the world, to myself, that I'm a spiritual person. In order to claim that, I have denied some realities which pretty well exist, like there might be some little desires here and there, or there might be a few likes and dislikes here and there, but to shun them, telling that no, I don't have them, is actually to be getting away from reality the way it is. And spirituality is not about us being here is a box and we have to fit ourselves into that box, but it's rather about that here is me and how can I be the highest of whatever I am. And that highest is our highest joyful self. All the saints have agreed on this, that finding God is the funeral of all our sufferings, and all the saints agree of God being Sat Chit Ananda. So why not approach spirituality? But many times we find that spiritual people are the ones who are sometimes bogged down, and it's not because um, they're not doing their practices or something, but just by focusing on the little tiny mistakes or the little tiny things which we have not perfected yet, and we carry that load too heavily. And Sri Yukteswar ji, who was Paramhans Yogananda ji's guru, he said, "Forget the past. The vanished lives of all men are dark with many shame. Everything in the future will improve if you make the right spiritual effort now." So why bother about, I couldn't do my sadhana in a focused way, my mind was wandering. Well, no problem, try it the next time and go with a joyful, cheerful attitude. Swami Kriyananda had this theory when he was in his college, that in order to be lucky, meet luck halfway. And so similarly, in order to be joyful, we can't be just sitting down on the couch and just watching TV, or just filling ourselves with food and not focusing on the realities of our life. And the solution is not to lower the energy but to raise the energy. And in order to be joyful, we have to meet joy halfway. Now, how can that be done? One thing I really find is sometimes if I am bogging down, whether it's like, oh, one more meditation I have to do now before I go to bed, or I have to meditate after I wake up, or oh, one more call I have to attend, or one more meeting. I rather try to act enthusiastic, and I try telling myself, well, I'm looking forward for this meditation, or I'm looking forward to connecting in this meeting. Sometimes I succeed, sometimes I don't, but if I really try sincerely, there have been rarely a chance where I don't succeed. And just meeting joy halfway, meeting luck, as Swami Kriyananda ji told, halfway, we can go a long way ahead in this journey rather than just waiting passively for joy to come in our lives. And there's a very interesting story. There was a time when Swami Kriyananda ji, there was a temple which he had helped in building, and that whole temple burnt down. And the next day or perhaps the same week, he walked into a store in the neighborhood and he was just whistling or singing and just having a good time. And the owner asked him, like, well, did you not lose your temple? Did your temple not burn down? And he said, yeah, but I didn't lose my voice. I just, I lost a temple. I didn't lose my voice. That doesn't stop me from singing. And similarly, once, he was going on a trip somewhere and he was driving, and suddenly, the wheels weren't in a proper shape. I will make the story very short without getting into the details. Basically, the vehicle skid and there was a big bus right in front, and it, literally crashed into it, and the car was totaled and they couldn't use that car to use wherever they wanted to go. And Swami Kriyananda ji, he didn't skip a beat. He saw where is the bus going, and it was going where, it was supposed to. The bus was going where he was planning to go. Anyways, he just, got out of the car, got into the bus, and continued his journey. And people were surprised, like what was he doing? And Swami Kriyananda ji basically said that in a week from now it would hardly matter. Then what's the point of dwelling on it right now? Now we should always be aware of where we are right now. We can't fake it. We can't say no, it doesn't affect me, because I have done that a few times, that when there is a hurt, let's say from a friend, or a situation where I haven't succeeded, or in a or something I'm struggling with, whether it be in meditating deeply, or whether it be in anything in our outward lives or our inward lives, rather than faking it that no, I'm fine, it doesn't affect me, acknowledging it is the best step first. And then from that acknowledgement, we can then be joyful, embrace it joyfully, and invite God and the divine into the process. And then from there, we can march ahead in our spiritual lives. I don't want to overshoot, so I'm just keeping track of time. So yeah, it's extremely important that we don't try to fit ourselves in a box, that yes, on the spiritual path I need to be meditating, so I meditate. On the spiritual path you shouldn't have likes and dislikes, so I don't have likes and dislikes, even though it all it leads to is suppression. And the Gita says, to what avail is suppression? Because it's like washing if you've ever washed a shirt or a cloth in a bucket, it's like you kind of try to press the whole shirt in the bucket, and it just pops out one way or the other. You press it on one side, the shirt pops out on the other side, and when you press it on the other side, it pops out on another different side. And such is suppression. You try to like really suppress it, and then it just pops out. And in fact, it pops out in weird ways, rather than in ways you might not have even expected, because you have no control, and there is this whole volcano of energy you're trying to suppress, and it has to escape somewhere. So why not, it just escapes in a way you might have least expected, and it bursts out like a volcano. So to what avail, like the Gita says, is suppression? Accept wherever we are, joyfully accept wherever we are, take the next step from wherever we are, and then just enjoy the path, enjoy the process from wherever we are. If we were to imagine that we were supposed to be any different, we wouldn't be on this planet. As I like to sometimes think about it, the fact that I have some faults here and there, or some flaws, and all of us have, and that's why we are on this planet. There are only two reasons why we are here. Either we are here to help all mankind and we were born as saints, or we are all here together wanting to become saints. And I am in the category of wanting to become a saint. So why beat ourselves down? And why just let our joy go with the little things which can sometimes happen, and making a big deal out of it on the spiritual path, and just enjoy the process. And with that, I would like to pass on to Brahmachari Premdas. Just one little thing, though, I remembered, is try to enjoy the little things in life. Like Swamiji talk about sunset, or maybe you enjoy a good meal. Just little things rather than seeing big things. Just little things, and it will fill your day and your spiritual life with joy and bliss. So, Premdas.
Thank you, Vinny. That was inspiring and joyful. Yeah. So I'm just going to now share a few more things about presently. As you all know, this webinar is happening live from our monastery in Kandala. So it has been like 2 years since we are here, little more than 2 years since we had moved to Kandala from Pune. We are renting few few houses here, bungalows, and we are also finally thinking of, in a joyful way, trying to find a property where we can all have a build a monastery. So please keep this in your prayers as Devashiji and Jamal and all the head monks are making this inroad, so that we request your prayers to keep us all, so that we find a good monastery, so that more brothers can come join and seek God, enjoy. So about it. And now today's topic is joy. So now one of the things about joy, which I have realized over the years, it has not been easy, but in the way I've been slowly getting it from each and every year. She was joking recently that Premdas, you have been improving, like Premdas 2.0, 3.0 every year. So I'm just like grateful, because I think each and every person who is in the community, when I see them, they're all like, each year it's, let's say, we need 2.0, we need 3.0, and he's all like, each year we just can see, and we are just like happy and glad to see all the good changes within ourselves. Because yeah, it, even in the beginning when we both met, maybe it would not have been, you didn't have known that we could do it so well and with master's grace. And I'm just saying that we all, if we all be willing, then masters will give us the strength to do anything. And now one more key ingredient to all this journey has been joy. Recently, I've been becoming more aware of this practice, and maybe I think most of you, it could be a good practice for you all. So I'm going to first tell you a story and then share the secret with you, the secret of joy, one of the secrets of joy. So this, as you all know, we stay in Kandala. Now this is near Pune, Maharashtra in India. So this place is well known for a king and warrior known as Chhatrapati Shivaji here in the hills in the Western Ghats. He has got all these forts. He had fought off the Mughals. He was strong, and somehow he got all his army together, and people respect him very much. And there is one more side to him which I deeply respect, about his him having a guru, and his devotional side, and his steadfast devotion to God. So in this story, I'm just going to read to you all. It has been some time. So he was in 17th century. So among all these things, when he was brought up, he was the care of his mother. He started chanting at a very early age, and also his guru name was Ramdas, Swami Ramdas. So when Shivaji was growing up and he became a king, one day, I'm going to paraphrase some stories. I hope I'm not taking out the changing any details here. So once Saint Ramdas comes to his kingdom, and Shivaji invites him to the kingdom. He brings him and he asks him to sit on the throne, sorry, where the king is supposed to sit. And he serves him as a really good meal. And also at some point, Shivaji writes on a paper his message and he passes it to Saint Ramdas. So now, when Ramdas, when he reads it, it says that, dear Guru, I am happy to renounce all my kingdom and give it to you. Please accept it. And Saint, his Guru, writes back. He sees this message, even he's shocked. Like, he's saying he'll give up all his kingdom. What is he thinking, disciple? Okay, and then the saint writes back telling that, dear Shivaji, so what will you do giving up your kingdom? And Shivaji, yeah, then I think the next episode is almost like Saint Ramdas has walked out or something, and Shivaji has changed his clothes into a common man clothes, and he's ready to follow his guru now. So I think they travel some distance, and all the people is shocked. See what is happening, why the king is given up his kingdom, what he's offering it to his guru, and what's happening now. And now the Saint Ramdas, after some time, now he again speaks to Shivaji. He asks him, so are you going to follow whatever I'm going to say? And Shivaji is like in full obedience, says, whatever thy will is my command. And then at this moment, the saint, his guru, says him, "Now go back. Now since you've given me the kingdom, I'm asking you to do a seva. Go back and serve your people on behalf of me and God. Serve this kingdom." And then Shivaji bows down his head and humbly accepts his responsibility, and with more joy goes back to the kingdom and rules the kingdom, serving people more well, more better, more joyfully. So the small thing I picked up from the story was, whenever many times we are also have a very hectic life here, and while doing seva projects, sometimes we get caught up because sometimes God, it's easy to say to have God, at the same time sometimes we forget. Like, I think you always, yeah, I'm still growing on this path. So, and sometimes, many times, whenever that happens and whenever I get too overwhelmed, the small technique which I try to use is, Guru, I offer you all these projects at your feet. For this moment, I've been only doing for you. Please take it. And whenever I feel some solace or consolation, and then I ask him, okay, now what do you want me to do? So you want me to do this project? Okay, now I'll do. I have your joy back. Now I'll do. Otherwise, this is such a good thing. I really recommend you all to try this. Whenever anything happens, not working, not work, it's working, not working, just offer it to Guru God. Just tell him, this is your project, my Lord. Take care of it. It's not working, it's your thing. It's credit, your thing. And then when you also feel then again peace in your heart, or yeah, don't be lazy at the same time. It doesn't mean for you all to be lazy or not take back, but because we'll have to do something sometime. People are waiting many times on webinars or these projects which we do. So then after some, even sometimes even like even after 30 seconds or 1 minute, I just have this change small switch in my heart and brain which changes, and then we are like all excited, thrilled, and yeah, otherwise all the brothers here, and yeah, we'll not be able to achieve whatever we are doing in this short span of time. So yeah, I would like really recommend you all to try that technique. So joy, the yeah, even our Ananda, for example, yeah, it was a fun thing that happened now in the beginning of webinar. I just put it on Facebook Live, and it was telling Brother Premdas. Then I thought maybe they should not see that name. Let us put it as Joy. And then Vineet changes it to Ananda. So it's like Ananda, Joy. Yeah, that's where our true home is. So I would just like try to be in joy, share joy. Yeah, I think how you can be in joy is first give joy. Yeah, so please try this practice, and I think I'm almost at the time. I'll just request Vineet, Brahmachari Vineet, to to continue this evening's webinar by doing the affirmations and following.
Thank you, Premdas. So we'll go through the reading again. Try to really go deep into these words because I find these words like really powerful, especially before each reading. And then, of course, we'll do the affirmation together. And so, but let's begin with the words on joy. Swami Kriyananda says, true joy is not an emotional state. It is not that which one feels when some desire is satisfied or when everything at last goes well. It is inward, it is of the soul. It can be developed first by not reacting emotionally to outward things. Don't be tossed on alternating waves of success and failure. Don't join in their excitement, the buyers and sellers in the marketplace of this world. Be calm in yourself, even minded and cheerful through the gains and losses of life. Then, in calm, deep meditation, feel the joy of the soul. Hold on to that joy through all activities. Don't confine it, but try ever to expand it until your little joy becomes the joy of God. Now we'll do the affirmation together and we'll do it multiple times, maybe 3 times each. First, doing it out loud, then in a softer voice, in a speaking voice, in a whisper, mentally taking it to the subconscious mind, and then bringing it up to the superconscious mind by gazing at the point between the eyebrows. So let's do this together. Let's center ourselves, sit up straight. You can close your eyes if you want to. And let's repeat these words of the affirmation. I am even minded and cheerful at all times. I know that joy is not outside me, but within. I am even minded and cheerful at all times. I know that joy is not outside me, but within. I am even minded and cheerful at all times. I know that joy is not outside me, but within. Now, in a normal speaking voice, I am even minded and cheerful at all times. I know that joy is not outside me, but within. I am even minded and cheerful at all times. I know that joy is not outside me, but within. I am even minded and cheerful at all times. I know that joy is not outside me, but within. Now, whispering, I am even minded and cheerful at all times. I know that joy is not outside me, but within. I am even minded and cheerful at all times. I know that joy is not outside me, but within. I am even minded and cheerful at all times. I know that joy is not outside me, but within. Now, mentally taking it to the subconscious mind, I am even minded and cheerful at all times. I know that joy is not outside me, but within. I am even minded and cheerful at all times. I know that joy is not outside me, but within. I am even minded and cheerful at all times. I know that joy is not outside me, but within. Now, bringing it to the superconscious mind with deep concentration and attention, I am even minded and cheerful at all times. I know that joy is not outside me, but within. I am even minded and cheerful at all times. I know that joy is not outside me, but within. Now, one last time mentally, I am even minded and cheerful at all times. I know that joy is not outside me, but within. Mentally repeating this prayer in the calmness of meditation, at the heart of my inner peace, help me to feel thy thrilling, joyful presence. Thank you, friends, for joining us today. We certainly had a lot of joy sharing with you through this webinar, and we do hope that the rest of your week goes in great joy. Especially practice this affirmation in this week. And as you saw, the words are very simple. Don't even have to write them down. I'm even minded and cheerful at all times. I know that joy is not outside me, but within. Just very simple words, but very powerful. Next time you find yourself in a situation where the outside situation is affecting you, the environment is affecting you, tell yourself, I'm even minded and cheerful at all times. Affirm strongly. And then I know that joy is not outside me, but within. And with this, we will take leave from you and we look forward to seeing you next week, same time. Joy to you, friends.